Hello, and welcome to Navigating Change and Managing Mental Health, Anxiety During the Pandemic as a Family. This presentation was created by myself, Tammy Auten Dye. I am a registered psychologist in Ponoka, Alberta. So what are we going to look at during this presentation? Many months in, what does our life look like now with COVID? How are you managing your mental health during COVID-19? And how are you staying or getting physically or mentally healthy? Some common household stressors that we're seeing 2 years into this pandemic are cohorts. Who are we now seeing and spending our time with? Screening. Everywhere, every day, COVID is in our face. We are being asked for our temperatures, to sign forms. Conflicting beliefs, conflicting messages. School, the multi-options and the constant changes. Financial stress, managing a household during a pandemic, family closeness versus family conflict, coping, self-care, and the impending cold weather. So what are some of the common stressors that we see for our children? Wearing masks, changing schools, substitutes, teachers being away, less options for coping strategies. If we used to be able to go play with different friends, we used to be able to go to different rooms and see different teachers. There were a variety more options for coping strategies for students than have been available in the last couple of years. And this is constantly changing. There are bedtime struggles because of COVID-19 worries, increased tech time, isolation from friends, changes to sports and extracurricular activities, which results in grief and loss. With conflicting beliefs and conflicting messages, this results in stress. Within homes, within families, within friendships, within workspaces, there are differing options or differing opinions on many aspects of the pandemic. The political handling, the testing being done, mask wearing, and different theories about what's actually going on. So how do we handle these disagreements and how do we model this for our children? As adults, we are faced with handling disagreements a lot throughout our daily life. However, COVID-19 has ignited some of these differences with passion, and these differences can be hard to navigate for children and adults. We want to be handling disagreements to the age level that they can handle. So talk to your children about your family's beliefs around handling differences. Share your family views as well as ways that your children can respond to the views and feelings of others. These open, preparatory conversations have many benefits. It's build social skills and problem-solving skills for your children, as well as communication practice with conflict management. As adults, there's a need to be able to express our feelings without putting others down. This models for our children that we can have differences and talk through them, but still be friends. It's important to note that how you feel about screening and masking will impact how your child is reacting to the screening and mask wearing. Your children are watching. They are always watching. So if you hate masks and you hate signing forms and having your temperature taken at the dentist and the whole process of the COVID-19 procedures altogether, there's a chance that your children will too. Unfortunately, right now, these changes are a part of our life and many of these rules need to be followed. So try putting a positive spin on these changes. Talk about how these inconveniences are keeping people safe. Make it personal by noting a family friend who we want to keep safe. This also teaches our children about respecting the rules of businesses and how to be kind and considerate of others in their homes or at a business. Something else that your family might be experiencing is fear of illness. All we can do is follow protocol. Everyone has their own line of how far to go to be safe, and it's only us that can be responsible for our own. If we're feeling overwhelmed with fears of illness, we must stop watching the news as much. We need to be careful as to what media we consume around the facts of COVID-19 and get our information from a reputable source. Sometimes we don't like the people, but the source of information may be accurate. If it's overwhelming, get off Facebook and other social media where we're constantly bombarded with information. We're also experiencing changes and challenges in school. School is constantly changing as well. Many children have adjusted well to these changes, but others have not, and this constant change can be exhausting for them. For a while, there was no singing in school, there's still no in person assemblies, school parties are different, recesses have changed, there's cohorting and masking. These things are changing all the time, and our children are navigating these changes every single day. Missing school because of a sniffle with daily screenings, parental stress around childcare, the constant changing guidelines to be followed, teachers missing school, substitute teachers, which is a constant change in a trusting adult, and the adult who knows our learning style, the adult who knows our needs in the classroom. So we need to support our children through these changes. Some children are easygoing and flexible. Some mom and dads are easygoing and flexible. Other children are rigid and need predictability in their schedules and in their routines. And some moms and dads need that too. With so many regular changes happening, support your family as much as possible with predictability and routine, as much as it's feasible in your home. When plans have to change due to a sniffle or a rule change or having to miss school, try to focus on what is the same and what is predictable for your child. Use calendars, lists, and pictures to depict routine for your struggling child. And above all, practice patience with your children and with yourself. This has been a really difficult time. When we're parenting and trying to do online education, whether it's for a couple of weeks during an isolation period or a longer period of time, it's important to remember that you are not a teacher. And you can ask the teacher attached to your child's classroom for help. And we can really be empowering our children to ask for help as well. Set a schedule for the day and don't push and don't panic when it comes to the schoolwork. Encourage the schoolwork. Encourage older kids to FaceTime with friends and do schoolwork together. Kids don't learn when they're stressed out. We can't teach when we're stressed out. We can only do our best with this online education if it's our turn to experience it again, as we've experienced it many times over the last couple of years. Keep communication with the teacher open. If the work is too much, you might have to do less. Another big fear that is contributing to COVID-19 fears is financial fear. It's really important during this up and down time in our economy to know what you have and know what supports are available. Use whatever help you can, and if you are struggling on how to get help, feel free to ask. Whether it's the CERB, the CRB, or EI, business loans, bank payment deferrals, credit deferrals, mortgage deferrals, we can talk to different places like Community Futures to get help. Something that's been happening during the COVID-19 pandemic is family closeness versus family conflict. Some families have come closer together, playing games, watching family movies, crafting, and playing outside. But if there were cracks already in the family dynamic that were present, that those family dynamics might also have brought these to light and have exacerbated the frustrations and stressors that were already present within a family. The antidote to this conflict is regulating our emotions and connection, spending time together, positive time together, not talking about the things that are difficult or causing stressors, but having positive, mindful time. Coping, self-care, and the cold weather. So what is your family doing for self-care and coping with the pandemic? As the numbers in central Alberta rise and the weather gets colder, what will your family do this winter to stay healthy? Will it be board games, fitness routines, movies? Will there be outdoor activities? Do you like to ski, snowboard, or go tubing? Will you be reading together? Get together as a family and make a list of what you might do to continue to get through quiet times of staying close together during the cold weather. And what do we do about this technology time? COVID-19 has led to exceedingly high amounts of technology time for our children. Children had so much unoccupied time with nothing else to do, and parents needed a break. When we take away or limit technology, the dopamine in the brain of our children crashes, and this results in meltdowns, crying, tears, frustration, and anxiety. Getting kids back to focus on schoolwork, to be back in the classroom, has been more difficult than ever. As TikTok and YouTube and the higher levels of exposure have supported reduction in the practice length of focus, our brains are used to tiny little clips, to short videos. And now we go back into the classroom and we're asking for long periods of focus again. And this is really difficult for children. Both children and adults are addicted, and the withdrawal to technology is real. Another thing that's really happening during this COVID-19 pandemic that we must acknowledge is grief. And during this time, grief is normal. It can result in disbelief or denial of what's happening around us, feelings of depression, anger, acceptance, bargaining, complete apathy, which is the state that many of us are getting to now as we are nearly 2 years in. We are losing experiences, the sports we want to watch or play, time with friends, limited travel, less activity option, less freedom, less time with extended family. Elizabeth Kubler-Ross initially created the cycles of grief. And while the cycles of grief, stages of grief have changed over time and what we know is grief, grief is confusing and it contains these essential areas: shock and denial, anger, frustration, depression and detachment, overwhelm, lack of energy, dialogue or bargaining, reaching out to others, wanting to tell our story, struggle to find meaning. Sometimes we accept, we know that COVID-19 is here and that we're going to have to get through it this winter. And then we might move right back into shock and denial or anger or frustration again. So what is normal? What is normal for you and your family right now? It's normal to feel okay. It's normal to feel sad. It's completely normal to feel lonely and isolated because we have been isolated. It would be normal to feel overwhelmed. There are so many changes, so many things that are scary that are being announced on a regular basis. So it's normal to have good days and bad days. It's normal to need others and to be angry or to have mood swings or to feel the need to control. So some things to try for our feelings is number one, feel them. Feel your feelings. Show your feelings as modeling for children so they can share their feelings. Set aside time to talk about feelings and normalize talking about feelings. Respond with listening instead of problem solving so that we can validate feelings. Teach and practice emotional intelligence, which means use feeling words often. Practice stress management. Use daily routines and daily relaxations. We might relax by using meditation or mindfulness practices. Practice breathing and taking deep breaths throughout our day. We often get caught holding our breath and forget to take deep breaths into our system. Can eat well, move and exercise every day. Try daily to get outside and practice talking positively instead of only negatively throughout your day. When it comes to meals, it's easy to forget, especially if we're in isolation times. Plan, cook, and eat 3 meals a day when you can. Do this as a family. Keep your sleep a routine. Sleep and wake at the same time each day. Have a consistent bedtime routine so your body understands that bedtime signals sleepiness and we can have better rest. Exercise. Move your body every day. Exercise, walk, dance, get outside. Do this with your family. Keep routine and keep your space tidy to reduce your anxiety. Make a list of tasks and accomplish at least one thing a day so that you can feel accomplished, like you've done something, and feel proud of yourself. Remember that this is a time of loneliness, and the opposite of loneliness is connection. If we're able to get together with others, get together with others. If you're not able to get together, FaceTime, play games like House Party or other online games. Have a Zoom get together. Have connection time in the home. Create rituals like snuggling up for a movie, playing board games, making obstacle courses. Go outside and have a campfire, or teach yourself how to dance based on some YouTube videos. Remember to do self-care. Your typical self-care might be unavailable to you. What are you going to do now? What's working for you? What's not working for you? If it's going to get your nails done, going outside to build something, coloring or crafting, writing or having a glass of tea or a glass of wine or cup of tea, doing yard work, find something that feels good to you and fills you back up. Find something to look forward to and create SMART goals. SMART goals are short-term, manageable, achievable, realistic, and able to be done in a timely manner. Plan for a future vacation. Get started on expanding next year's garden. Create an invite to a future games night with friends. Foster a dog. Find something to keep you occupied that you can look forward to. This is an activity that you can try at home. This is called the control wheel. Sometimes we can feel really overwhelmed and really out of control. So we take this donut circle and we write down what we can control on the inside and things that we can't control on the outside. Paying attention to how often we're trying to control the things that are out of our control and helping to let those things go while taking some time and putting our effort into controlling those things we can. This can help alleviate some of our stress. Focus on daily gratitude. What are you grateful for? And how can you be grateful each and every day? Write it down, express it, talk about it with your kids. Use mindfulness. We can use mindfulness like relaxation apps, meditations. We can use our 5 senses: taste, touch, smell, hearing, seeing. You can ground yourself in your room by laying on your bed, or put your feet in the dirt or the grass, or eventually hear the snow. We can do arts and crafts, listen to music or play music, garden. For some people, it's prayer. And don't forget to take those deep breaths. Let's practice a couple together. We're going to do something called a box breath. We're going to breathe in for 4 seconds, hold for 4 seconds, breathe out for 4 seconds, hold for 4 seconds. And I'm going to draw the box as we go. Ready? Breathe in. Hold. Out. Hold. In. Hold. Out. So this is a box breath. Take the time at least 3 times a day to breathe in and breathe out. If you have breathing reminders on your cell phones or on your watches, utilize those as well. Find some really helpful books to listen to or to read. These are some of my favorites, but there are many that are helpful that you can find, and listen to some that are just for fun. I've named here Untamed by Glennon Doyle and her other book, Love Warrior. I've noted Anything by Brene Brown that can be really helpful. Becoming by Michelle Obama, The Path Made Clear by Oprah, both of Rachel Hollis's books, Self-Compassion by Kirsten Neff, The Happiness Trap by Russ Harris, Tiny Habits by BJ Fogg. But there are many more. Try some different podcasts, and here's a list of a few different calming apps that you might want to try. Headspace, Calm, Mindshift, Breathe to Relax. And for children, you could try Moshi or Peace Out, which is a podcast. Thank you so much for walking through COVID-19 and navigating how to get through the continued pandemic. If you need more information from me, you can find me on Facebook and Instagram at Auten-Dye Psychological, and you can also find me on my website at autendye.com. Thank you and take care.